Hey traders, welcome back to my channel. Here we don't just build expert advisors and indicators, we unlock the full potential of MQL5. So in today's video, I will show you how to create histogram indicators using MQL5, like the ones you can see now. On the chart I have a candle ratio indicator and a CSI indicator. Both displays as histogram. Both indicators might look similar, but the logic behind them differs. The candle ratio indicator does not work with a look back period, while the CSI works with a look back period. And the candle ratio indicator only measures like how much of let's take for example this candle now. It measures how much of this candle's total range from high to low is made up of the real body, which is from within the open and the close, and then projects the value as a histogram or as a bar. As you can see here, we have, when we look at the data window here, we have 78, which shows like 78%. That means the body size of this indicator makes up 78% of the whole range, and that is how it does for all candlesticks once it's launched on the chart. Same here. And another thing, we have an equilibrium line or something, 50. So here, whatever candle's value that is greater than 50, we set the color to green, and the ones less than or lower than 50 are set to red. Then the CSI indicator, it measures like for this particular candle. First, it works with a look back. So let's say we have a look back of, let's say, 5. Within, let's say we have a look back of 15. Now it measures within the past 15 bars. We first get the candle with the highest body, like with the highest body size, and then compare it to the current candle, and its value is then displayed as histogram here. Here we work with the CSI works with a look back. We look at the past within a fixed look back 14, 21. We then determine the highest candle with the max body size. Then we compare it with the current one. Then we project that value as a histogram. And same thing for this, the values greater than 50 are set to color green, while the ones below 50 color red. So let's get started. We'll start off with candle ratio indicator. Let's head to the meta editor. We create a new template. Let's call it candle ratio. Here we click the separate window. Minimum we set it to 0. Maximum value is set to 100. Firstly, here we set the indicator to be displayed in a separate window. Here we tell MetaTrader 5 to display this particular indicator in a separate window, not chart window. Now we set the minimum and the maximum values. The minimum is 0, while the maximum is 100. Let me clean up the chart a bit. Let me clean up the code, not the chart, the template. I think we are good to go now. Set separate window. maximum. Next, we set the indicator buffer property indicator buffers 2. We set it to 2 as the indicator will operate with two buffers. One for the ratio, the other for the color. Next, we set indicator type. Type 1, draw color histogram. Because histogram, we set the colors to be used, indicator color 1, color green, and color red. Next, we set the indicator width. We set it to, let's say, 4. So the histogram bar will be bold enough at initialization. Next, we set the level property indicator level 1. We set it to 50. Next, we set the indicator level style. We set the style to style solid or style dash. Let's use style dash. Next, we set it to, wait. Let me arrange this properly. Indicator label, I think. Let's level color. We set to color black. Next, we set the indicator label 1. We use candle ratio percent. This is the name that will be displayed on the data window. We use percent because it projects how many percent, how much the candle, how much of a candle's total range is made up of the body, like how much, like the percentage. That's how we score it. Then next, what next? I don't think there is any other. So first, we set up the preprocessors. This tells this helps to tell like how the program, how the indicator will operate at initialization, the compilation directives, and others. So let's define tick size, symbol info double, I think, symbol trade tick size. That's really it. Trade tick size. On line 21, we define a macro. This macro gets the tick size of the current symbol where the indicator is to be launched. Next, we set global variables. Global variables. Integer start equals int minimum. Next, we declare a variable of integer type that specify the start position. Like this will be used within the onCalculate function, and others. We set it to int minimum, which is actually a negative value, I think. Int minimum, which can be represented minus 2 1. So we just set a default value for it. You can also use -1 or whatever you wish. Next, we declare what next? Okay, yeah, ratio buffer and color buffer, I think. Next, the ratio buffer array and the color buffer array. The ratio buffer array will be used to store the ratio value, like the value of each candlesticks when it's being compared by the total range and others, while the color buffer is used to set the color from between red, green, and red. What next? I think we are good to go. Next, we head to the initialization function. First, we set the index buffer 0, ratio buffer, indicator calculation, indicator data. Next, we specify that this ratio buffer will be used as indicator data. So whatever value that is inside this, that is stored in this buffer, in this array, will then be displayed as the indicator value or plotted. Set index buffer 1, color buffer, indicator color index. Here we specify that this array color buffer will be used to specify the color of histogram, like per bar. Now we set indicator, set string, I think, indicator short name. Let's call it candle ratio. Then indicator, set integer, digits, we set it to 0 because we don't want any decimal value, as it's a percentage, like 70%, 60%. We don't want anything like 75.2 or 75.5. We just want an integer, a rounded integer value. Next, we move to the onCalculate function. Let me clear this. First, now we start with the start. Equal to, if previous calculated is equal to 0. If it's equal to 0, we start. If it's equal to 0, we start with previous calculated, or we start with raised total -1. So on line 52, we check if the previous calculated, if the value here, like if it's the first time the indicator is being launched, that means this previous calculated value will be 0. Then we start with previous calculated. We start at previous calculated index. Else, we start with the rate total -1. This helps us not to recalculate everything on a new bar or whenever they like, for performance and others. Yes, we loop through the bars. W equal to start. Yes. W less than raise total and not is stopped. W plus plus, we increase W. So what we're doing here, this is a for loop. We loop through all the available data starting from this index and less than the total value, the total data size. And we ensure that the indicator is not stopped. The program is still running. That is what we do here. So next, we get the current analyzed bar range. Range equal to high, W minus low. So here we get the total range from its high to its low. Next, we ensure range. is less than or equal to tick size. This is what I call a safety check. Safety check. This helps to avoid one. This helps to avoid like analyzing doji candles and others. And whenever we have a doji candle, maybe like the open, the close, like all values are like equal. Like it might cause a zero division error or something. So if the range is less than tick size tells us how much how much a symbol ticks. Somehow 0.01, 0.001 or something, depending on the symbol. Now we set the ratio buffer at W to be 1. We set the color buffer at index W to be 1. Then we continue. Here, if the total range of the currently analyzed candle is less than or equal to tick size, we set the ratio to 1, set the color to 1. 1 should be color index 1 is color red. So after that, we continue. We head to the next like iteration. Next, we get the body equal to max absolute open W minus close. On line 65, we get the body size, the open minus close. Here we use this function max absolute to actually get the absolute like price. Like for a bearish candle, the the open is greater than the close. But for a bullish candle, the open is less than the close. So like in order not to have a value like minus 0.256, so whenever we use this function for such value, it actually gives us, let's say we have minus 365, it actually gives us 365. We get the absolute value. Next, ratio buffer at index W is then set to body divided by range times 100. I think body divided by range times 100, yes. Then the color buffer, the color is now set to if ratio buffer W is greater than 50. 50 should be green index. I think this is it. On line 66, we get the percent, like how much of the candle's range is made up of the body. On line 67, we set the color. If the value is greater than 50, we set the color to 0, which is green. And if it's less than, we set it to 1. This 0 and 1 refers to these colors. This is 0 and this is 1. Now let's compile. I think we are good to go. Let's compile. Let's go to the meta editor. Let's create a new chart. Step index. The plain chart. Let's get the indicator itself. Tutorial, candle ratio, What happened? This doesn't show up. Did we miss anything? Body equal to, wait, let's start from beginning. Draw histogram, color green, style, candle ratio, minimum and maximum, tick size. What is the initialization? Set ratio, indexed buffer. We should be good to go. Range equal to high minus low. Set to 1. Body. What's wrong with this guy? Blah blah. Draw color histogram. Type 1. 2 buffers. Oh, nice. We missed plot. Property. Indicator. Plot 1. I think that is it. Now it shows up. You can see, as you can see here, we have the histogram, the candle ratio as a histogram. So what we are basically doing here is, for each candlestick, we compare its body to its total size. How much of this candle's body, how much of this candle's range, total range from high to low, is made up of the body. And you can see this high bar shows the candle whose body makes up most amount of the total range. So this is the first part on how you can work with, or you can build your own indicator like the histogram. Next, we look at how to build the CSI indicator, which operates using a look back period. This will also teach you how to work with indicators that uses a look back, like the RSI, like normal routine. Most people use RSI, moving averages, like those indicators operate with look back. So next, we are going to build a CSI indicator, which is a candle strength index. CSI stands for what? Candle strength index. Now let's back to the meta editor. Let's create a new template. Let's call it CSI. I think next, in a separate window, remember, maximum and minimum are set to 0 and 100. Let me clean this up. Bro, what? Let me clean this up. Please, as I'm cleaning this up, please remember to subscribe to my channel. Turn on the bell notification so that you will get notified anytime I post a new tutorial on how to build your own indicator, expert advisor, and others. And lest I forget, this main series is just to teach you how you can build your own, how you can learn, like to teach you MQL5 from beginning. It's all about, like, it's just for beginners, absolute beginners. So now we start with the indicator plot, so we won't miss that. Indicator plot, so we won't forget that. This specifies that the indicator only plots one type. If it's a histogram, one. If it's, but when you specify something like two, it means that the indicator will either be like displaying a histogram and a line as RSI and others. Like you just specify one plot type. Next, we go with the buffer indicator buffers. 2, indicator type 1, draw color histograms. Yes, we set the color, indicator color 1, color green, and color red. What's wrong there? Next, we set the width property, indicator width. I think width 1, we set it to 4. Property, indicator level, I think level 1, same with the candle ratio, but the logic, this one, like the logic and the mathematics behind this will be different from that. Next, we set the property indicator level style dash dot. Next, we set indicator level color 1, level color to color black. We have the minimum and the maximum already here. What next? Are we missing anything? Let's compile. No errors, no warning. Let's define same tick size. This is just a safety guard or something. Symbol info tick size should be double. Symbol trade tick size. Nice. Next, we specify, like, we set the indicator settings, the parameters that can be changed from the without modifying the code. Input integer look back. Let's start with 14. Period. This look back like states like how many bars in the past will be analyzed to obtain the current histogram, or will be used to get the value of the current histogram or something. Don't worry, we'll get to that in a jiffy. Same start. Yeah, let's use -1. Double ratio buffer. Almost similar with color buffer. And I think we are done with the compilation directives, the macro. Now let's get back to initialization. Here we ensure that the look back setting that the user puts is valid. So we do something like look back. If look back is less than 2, we return init parameter incorrect. So let's just print some values here. Look back must be greater or equal to. So yeah, we ensure that the settings the user specifies is is a good one, in order to so that the indicator will not malfunction. Let's compile. 0 errors, 0 warnings. Let me just, in order to make this video, so let's just copy this initialization here. We set it here, paste it here. Candle, let's just use CSI. Now I remember we didn't set property indicator label 1 to CSI. I think that's what we use. CSI, the indicator of personally, I don't advise you to use this copy and paste, but whenever you use it, make sure you cross check properly, look back in order to avoid errors and stuff. I think let's compile. No error. Here we set the indicator short name CSI plus the look back, whatever look back the user specified. I think let's clear this place. Next, we set the plot begin, plot index set integer. I think 0 plot draw begin. Here we specify like the position where the histogram will, like where the display will start. We set it to the look back period. If the user specify a 14 period, then the histogram should start at the bar at index 14, because the bar at index 0, 1, 2 till 14, like till 13 won't have any value, because we are working with a look back logic or something. Next, we ensure we have enough data. If rate total is less than look back times 2, no need for this bracket, I think. If rate total is less than or equal to, then or equal to, we return rate total. Let's go that way. On line 60 and 61, we ensure we have enough data to work with. Next, start equal to previous calculated is equal to 0. Almost same logic with the candle ratio, but here there will be a twist here. If it's the first time the indicator is being launched, we start at the look back index and not 0. Else, rate total minus 1. The loop int W equal to start, W less than rate total, and not is stopped. Ensure that the indicator was not stopped. If the indicator like was stopped, or what did I do here? Bro, what happened? Something, I messed something up here. Let's clear this. Is equal to 0. We start at look back, else rate total minus 1. The loop W equal to start, W less than rest total, and not is stopped, W plus plus. This is a for loop. Next, we get the body size of the currently analyzed bar, the bar at index W equal to mat absolute, open W minus close. I think so. Double, we set a max body size. We start with a minimum value, a low value. Let's start with 0. Now we check the past look back bars. If the user specify 14, let's say we look backward 14 bars, then we obtain the max body size within that time range. We use another loop and let's say m equal to w minus look back, m less than w, m plus plus. Here we start at, let's say if we are currently analyzing, if w is equal to, let's say 15, we start at 15 minus, and like let's say the user specified a look back of 14. 15 minus 14 means what? We get 1. So we now obtain, we start from the index 1 or index 0. No, the first value should start with 0. Wait, if minus look back. Okay. We start with, let's say w is 15. No, let's say 14. W is 14 and the user specifies 14. 14 minus 14 is what? 0. We start at, now I get it. We start at 0, index 0, the first one. Then we now obtain the max body size from 14 down to, from 0 down to whatever be the current index or something. This should work with double. We get the current body equal to max absolute. That should be same with this. Let me hasten up to make this video shorter or something. Now if body is greater than max body is equal to body, the currently analyzed body. So here we check if this body, the currently analyzed body, is greater than this, we save this max body. We update the max body. That's how we'll be updating it in order to get a candle's body size that is greater, in order to get the highest body size. Now, if current body, this should be outside the loop. If current body is less than or equal to tick size, this is another safety check. Ratio buffer at index W is set to 1. Color buffer at index W is set to 1. Then we continue. We continue with the loop. Now, double. We get the ratio. Current body divided by max body times 100. Next, we have to kind of clamp or normalize this ratio value, and we'll do that this way. Ratio equal to max 0 max min 100 and ratio. Let's compile. An error. Where is the error? What's this? Okay, yeah. M. Bro, wait. There's an error here. What caused this error? Name. Okay. I think we should be good to go. Nice. Now we are good to go. Here we clamp or normalize, like whatever you call it, or normalize. We ensure that the whatever value is within 0 and 100. This is very, very important because like we already have, like, let's say we don't know if the current analyzed bar, which is at index W, like this, like at index W, is 200 times bigger than the max body in the look back. So whenever we have such value, it's not that it will cause the indicator to misbehave, but the output on the data window will not align, will not be as expected. It might have a value as 250. Meanwhile, we are working with a percentage, so we have to what? Clamp it. Next, we set the ratio buffer at index W to ratio. Whoa, this again. And color buffer, what's happening? At index W, we set it to if ratio is greater than 50, we use color 0 or 1. I think we are good to go. Let's clear this. Let's compile. 0 errors. Let me look at this one more time. No, this should not be W. This should be M. This should be M. This W, this W, this W. Compile 0 errors. Let's remove the candle ratio from the chart. Candle ratio, delete. Now let's add the CSI. What's this? Let's look at this one more time. W current body, W max body, look back. Let's look at this one more time. Let's start from the below here. Ratio, mat max, mat min. Oh, this ratio, not rate total. Let's compile. Now we have the CSI indicator, and you can see that the values displayed on this side are always less than 100. Look at it, you can see the values here are always less than 100. Like we are fine, the values here are always on less than 100. Now let's add the candle ratio. No, let's remove this, delete. Then let's add the candle ratio indicator first. Then we add the CSI indicator that we just built. Now we have achieved this. In this video, we built two histogram indicators, candle ratio indicator and a CSI indicator, which is a candle strength indicator. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye bye for now.